Let's briefly talk about lists, HTML lists. HTML lists of three types. First, what are HTML lists used for? So HTML lists are used to group a collection of items with order or without order. So if I'm trying to list something now, maybe I say I have there are some items I have in my, let's say I have a bucket and I say there are some items in my bucket, and I now begin to list them one by one. I say there's a pen, number one, a book. I say I have maybe I have balls. I can list many things that are in that bucket. So that thing I'm doing, I'm listing. So I could represent that in HTML and just say, if I use the ordered list and I just type OL, first I'm going to first represent it inside an OL. Yes, I'll first represent it inside an OL, and I'll type list opening tag, type whatever I want to type, list closing tag, list opening tag, type it, close tag, list opening tag, type it, close tag. Whatever will come out here, we have a normal number, but UL means unordered list. Okay, so OL means ordered list. So OL has that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to whatever number you need. So and list is just a child element. What's the meaning of child element? Child element means it will come under an element. So when we were explaining before that some elements are inline elements, we can also say that most times they are meant to be child elements. Not that they are child elements, but they are mostly meant to be child elements for them to work properly. So, but this one, in this case, this one must always be a child element for it to be okay and to work properly. Though it will still work if it's not one, but it's meant to be a child element. So you can copy this and try it out. Let's look at the outputs. So as you can see, the first unordered list produced apple, oranges, grapes, which has no numbers but is ordered. It's unordered, it just has dots. In CSS, you might be able to style these things much more better. In CSS, I've seen the situation where you can turn everything to I, or you can just use square boxes. Some you could even turn these circles to red. Different styles like that, just based on what you need and based on what you are building. So that's the way that is. So let's move to something else. Nested HTML list. Example. Sometimes we have to nest lists to make the data we represent easier to understand. Here's an example of nesting HTML lists. Okay, nesting HTML lists. Let's look at this code. This is just what we discussed before. But it's just a bit deeper into what we discussed. So it's just more like when you are listing some things and you're now going deeper to listing some other things under those things. So that's just the way it is. Just look, you can see listed URL under institution under URL. So let's move on. List style type. So like I said in CSS you see some kind of styles for your list. I won't go deep into all these things. Most of all these things you will see them when you get to CSS. So, and there's one thing, I can't really teach all, but as you continue to build projects, then you begin to understand more and more. In fact, you can't even understand everything in one teaching. You can't understand everything, but as you continue to build and understand, then you you begin to increase. So and I would advise that as you continue, focus more on building things, focus more on improving yourself with building, because if you can do that, then you will get much more better, and the sky is your limit. The sky is your limit. The sky is your limit, because as you get better, by God's help, you get much more better than even your imagination. So just put more energy into building. Let's check the outputs. So like I said, sometimes you will see I. Sometimes square. So that's just it. This is just CSS. This is work of CSS. You can copy it and try it out. So I'm just moving it slowly so you can see. So you can just copy it and try it out. Okay. So this is the last one. Let's check this. So this one too is CSS actually. So it's telling us, it started it in such a way that before, let me just go back. You can personally style the bullets of our HTML list. Personally style, okay, the bullets. Can personally style the bullets. Okay, list before. Okay, list before content. Okay, it's going to have, so it's this stuff that has it. So that's what they mean by you can personally style the bullets. That is, you can give it a unique bullet that you want. So you could even decide that we want to remove this. That's what it means. You could decide that we want to remove this, and you see the output. So you can see. So that's just what it means.